Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Sunday, April 9th, 2017. In Egypt, it's being reported that ISIS has taken responsibility for the bombing of two Coptic Christian churches. Remember, September 11th, 2001 happened on New Year's Day of the Coptic Christian calendar. September 11th. Some Christian historians believe that is truly Jesus Christ's birthday. This news today comes on Palm Sunday, the Christian day of celebration just before Easter Sunday, the day to remember the resurrection of Jesus. What's interesting about today's news is the president of Egypt was just in the United States meeting with U.S. leaders, including Darrell Issa, about how to combat ISIS. So the leader of Egypt just in the United States talking about fighting ISIS, then days later on Sunday, the Christian day of worship, these bombings at two Egyptian churches, which we're going to talk more about. They're saying 36 were killed. Remember what's special about 36. If you total 1 through 36 together, it sums to 666, the number of the beast, from the 66th book of the Bible, Revelation. Today leaves 66 days until Donald Trump's birthday. We're going to talk about how this attack seems to have a major synchronicity with Donald Trump, who's upping his rhetoric this week on fighting ISIS. Remember, most Christian Bibles, 66 books in length. Coptics, a sect of Christianity, Old World Christianity, popular in Egypt. Today's date, April 9th, 2017, is a date with 50 numerology. If you write out 50 as a word, it also sums to 66. The name Donald has gematria 50, just like America, which has 50 states. Again, the leader of Egypt was just in America to talk about fighting ISIS, and it truly seems that this incident today is very much coordinated and planned, and in part a tribute to Donald Trump, who's looking to wage this war against Syria and who knows who else in the name of ISIS and Islamic terrorism. So let's get into this. Today is Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday has the gematria of 144. We just talked about why this number was so significant in the sarin gas attack of April 4th. In case you missed that work, I'll just show this to you. Sarin gas attack has gematria of 144, just like when you write out April 4th. And as I pointed out months before any of this happened, Donald Trump was filling up his cabinet positions with people that have connections to the number 44 and 144. If you write out 44, it also sums to 144. 44 is the military number, the kill number, the genocide number. If you missed my work on the April 6th attack against Syria, it was April 7th Syria time. It was April 6th in the U.S. when the attack was waged. It was perfectly synced up with the 44-year veteran of the Marines, the current Secretary of Defense, General James N. Mattis. And just look, James N. Mattis, the title he goes by, 144. They call him Mad Dog, gematria 44. He's a veteran of the Marines for 44 years. These numbers are so ritualistic, and they have everything to do with military and killing, and they're used again and again. And here we are on Palm Sunday, and supposedly this deadly attack now blamed on ISIS. Also, Palm Sunday has gematria 54, like Islam, and this is the agenda: to pit the Christian people of the world against the Islamic people. You know, this is the mission. This is the ongoing agenda from September 11th, 2001 forward. And really that agenda started long before 9/11. It's just that since that period of time to the present, the agenda has been escalated. The word sun also has gematria 54. If you've missed my recent work on Christianity, Islam, and the sun, please check that out. Put those videos out about a month ago, also on a Sunday. So 36 killed at 2 churches. They're saying 25 at one church, 11 at the other. With regards to 36, again, our number connecting to number of the beast, you sum 1 through 36, it totals 666. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible, teaches about 666. Anyway, Palm Sunday also shares the gematria of 36. And since Christianity is centered on Jesus Christ, we should make this point. Jesus Christ has gematria of 151 using the alphabetic order, which is the 36th prime number. Jesus Christ. So the cities where the churches were bombed were Tanta and Alexandria. And how interesting is it that when you write out Tanta and Alexandria, you get 322, the number of the military-industrial complex. Just talking about this the night of the strike. Military-industrial complex 322. Let's see if I got this right here. Tomahawk cruise missiles also share the gematria of 322. We just saw the other night Donald Trump fire 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at Syria. So all within a short period of time, we're seeing these same numbers, and these stories are all part of the same narrative. It's a narrative of creating war, creating a boogeyman in a region of the world. You know, it all ties together, all part of a seamless narrative. Alexandria shares the gematria of 44, our military kill number. Alexandria also shares gematria of 89. This is about religion, 89, the religion number as I call it. The 11th Fibonacci number, religion 89. King James Bible, 66 books in length, 89. This comes the weekend before Easter Sunday. We'll see if, we get another headline next Sunday further escalating the tension, the narrative. Easter Sunday has the gematria of 44. Again, September 11th, 2001 happened on the Coptic New Year. Remember, 911, a ritual that had a lot to do with 33. In 1968, World Trade Center construction began. 911 made the national emergency dialing code. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. 33 years later, September 11th. Coptic 33, like Sunday. Very special number in the Bible. And for the record, Bible shares the gematria of 33. So does Good Book, what the Bible's commonly called. You take your Good Book to church with you on Sunday. See the overlap? Coptic also has the gematria of 66, like Palm. Here we are on Palm Sunday. 66 days from Donald Trump's birthday. Donald Trump will turn 71 years old later this year. 66 days away. Coptic also shares the gematria of 96, like Freemason. Freemasonry believes in divide and conquer, order out of chaos. Freemasonry has a stranglehold over world government, world banking, world religion. Here's the scene. They're saying that this is blood all over the walls and floor. I just find it interesting that this happened today and they already have this media story ready to go with the images. I would imagine that if a bomb went off in a church, you have all these seats, these wood seats. I got to imagine a bomb would break some of these seats. You'd see some splintered wood around. This looks like another created scene. I'm not there. I can't say for certain. But just knowing what goes on in this world, staging, scenes of terror for the ongoing agenda, that's what this looks like to me. This looks like another contrived scene, your crisis actors, your participants, just to make the media story. The first church bomb was in Tanta. Tanta has gematria of 79. So does the word murder. So does the word massacre. You know. Massacre also has gematria of 137, the 33rd prime. There's been a number of massacres in the United States in restaurants, Luby's, McDonald's. Anyhow, Tanta has the gematria of massacre and murder. The two churches bombed were in Tanta and Alexandria, and possibly coincidental or possibly not, notice the coordinates, 30.7, 31.000. If you add these coordinates together, it sums to 61 point decimal place, right? 61 point something. Alexandria on the 31st.2nd parallel north and the 29th.9th meridian east, if you add these numbers together, you get 61.2 something. So 61, 61. And the reason that's so interesting is 61 is a very special number to Christianity. Church equals 61, Christian equals 61. Look at this. Time equals 61, solar deity 61, Jesus 61, John 61, cross 61, sin 61, Christian and Christmas 61, church 61, Holy Spirit 61, God 61. 61 is the 18th prime number, which factors into 6 plus 6 plus 6. Isn't it so interesting? Jesus in the Bible warns people not to worship in the buildings. You know why? Because there's corruption there. And what we can see today could very much be corruption. You know, a Christian church possibly using itself for propaganda to wage war against Islam. It wouldn't be the first time. Let me remind you something. The Crusades, gematria 42. Like World War. Like war. The first printed Bibles were 42-line Bibles. 42-line Bibles. New Testament equals 42. There's the 42 generations to Jesus. Next weekend, the remembrance of the return of the Savior. I want to point out that Palm also has the gematria of 42. And today's news, another big step in the direction of war. Palm Sunday. One more 42. Crusades, World War, war. Both the world wars had a lot to do with Christianity. The reason the U.S. got involved in World War I is because the people were told in the Jewish newspapers. The newspapers have always been controlled by the Jewish, same as today, the Zionists. Back then, they started printing in the U.S. papers that the leader of Germany, Kaiser Wilhelm, was the Antichrist. And then next thing you knew, you had all these Christians ready to sign up for the war, go to war. You know, it happens again and again. Religion used to dupe people into fighting. So 25 killed in one church, at least 11 in the other. When you count 1 through 11 together, it sums to 66. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible. Look at the gematria of Revelation. Revelation sums to 121. The square root of 121 is 11. When you sum 1 through 11, it totals 66. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible. Revelation's about the return of the Lord, the destruction of the world before the return of the Lord. Notice the gematria of 49. Here we are on April 9th. The word Lord has gematria of 49. You know, this has a lot to do with the United States as well. That's another point, Truth Seeker. Well, I guess I'll just tell you real quick. United States has gematria of 77, like Christ, Christian nation. If you write out 77, it comes back to 49. Washington, D.C. on the 77th meridian. Anyhow, just a little more knowledge on some of those numbers. With regards to them saying 25 dead at the one church, the word massacre also has gematria of 25. That was St. George's. St. George's 47 like Christian. St. George's 115 also like killing. The other bombing was at St. Mark's Coptic Orthodox Cathedral. Gematria of 148. This is what I call the Donald J. Trump number. Donald J. Trump, 148, what he uses for his author name. The Art of the Deal, his first published book, 148. Whole lot of 148 around Donald Trump. So interesting that this church bombing has this gematria right after the leader of Egypt was in the United States of America while Donald Trump's talking tough about going to war with Syria and ISIS. They said one of the men in the building was named Pope Tawadros. It's a good name for a Christian man. Pope Tawadros, 153, like the number of fish in the miraculous catch in John. Holy Bible shares this gematria. Pope Tawadros also has the gematria of 54. Covered how this connects to Palm Sunday, Islam, the sun. So here's the leader of Egypt. He was just in the United States. His name in gematria also sums to 153. His name also has gematria of 137, the 33rd prime. We talked about how this connects to massacre. His birthday is November 19th. See if I can make that bigger for you. The 323rd day of the year. From today until his birthday is 224 days. If you take all the numbers that divide into 84, they sum to 224. It's also 32 weeks. Just show you this real quick. If we come up here and click the numbers, we can punch in a number and learn about its properties. I'm actually going to type in 84. The divisors of 84 sum to 224. We see this relationship. We saw this last year with France. They were in the 224th year of their French Republican calendar, and they had the Bastille Day attack 84 days after the movie came out called Bastille Day about the CIA trying to stop a terrorist attack in France on Bastille Day. Anyway, 84 connects to United States of America, you know? Leader of Egypt just in the U.S. just before this, talking about fighting ISIS. Also, with regards to the 32 weeks, just so you know, America also 32. America also 49 special numbers. Today's date, numerology of 50. Again, America 50, Donald 50. I think this news in Egypt has everything to do with the Holy War. The U.S. is again trying to escalate, you know. Notice the tweet comes at 4:09 in the morning on April 9th. Just one more time. America also 49, you know. The article also mentions that Pope Francis is to visit later this month. Pope Francis is scheduled to visit Cairo this month, where he will meet with various religious leaders, including the head of the Coptic Orthodox Church. He expressed his grief following the church attack. Pope Francis has the gematria of 58, like Freemasonry, like 2. Freemasons believe in divide and conquer. So often when they stage these political bombings, there's 2 that go off. You know, 2 towers on September 11th. 2 bombs at the Boston Marathon bombing. We see it again and again. 2, the use of 2, the 2 pillars. You know, Boaz and Joachim, Solomon's Temple. Pope Francis, very much a Freemason, the first Jesuit pope. I want to check the gematria real quick of Coptic Orthodox Church. Coptic Orthodox Church. 11196. We just talked about how Coptic also shares that gematria of 96 like Freemasonry. Interesting. Let's also just check Cairo. See if we can get ahead of anything. Cairo has the gematria of 89 like religion. 46 like chaos. 35 like Catholic, the Pope coming, the leader of the Catholic Church. Yeah, we'll see. They might have more planned, Truth Seeker. So, one last point. ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. You know, our CIA here in the U.S. says that ISIS is the result of the failed wars in the Middle East after September 11th, which really is all part of the planned agenda. Destabilize the region, provoke people, create an excuse for never-ending military intervention, which is what the powers that shouldn't be want. They want to be continually at war, because when you're at war, it's easier to build your police state. You know, it's easier to tell the people why their rights should be taken away, why they need surveillance over them, why they need less tax dollars for things that are actually helpful for them, because those resources need to be diverted to war. Notice Islamic State of Iraq and Syria equals 117, like Central Intelligence Agency, like the United States of America. ISIS, Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, Mossad, you know, MI5, CIA, all these things work together to dupe the masses of the world to sell this military agenda. And it's going to go on until the day these people are put out of power. So I hope no one really died in Egypt today. I suspect no one did. I suspect it's just another stage scene for the media. This is what they do. They use the authority. They use the things that people trust. The police, the government, religious leaders. You know, they use them because the people trust them. Trust is being abused. People need to wake up. Until next time, Truth Seeker.